Hey there, Claude. This is Dan, and I'm not actually working for GuitarControl.com, but that's okay. What I wanted to do was give you my feedback on your lesson on texture, or specifically melodic texture, which I think is a very good point. You were talking about how something can be a solo, where you actually have a melody going on, as well as how something can be a texture where you're just repeating notes. So a classic example would be the Van Halen tapping. Which I agree with. I agree that those two things are a very different thing in soloing, but I think that you've missed a third, and the third one is rhythmic texture. So where you can have a texture that's provided by just playing a note over and over again nice and fast, you can also have what I would like to call a rhythmic texture. So these are your string damps. These are your solos that can be entirely slapping the guitar. Now this works really well on acoustic, but it's not to say that you can't do it on an electric. In fact, some electrics actually, when you slap the strings, you'll get this really nice hard vibration out of the string, or out of the pickup itself, which with a little bit of delay can actually make your guitar simple slaps like that sound like a cannon burst. It's great. But when I say something like that, I'm talking about rhythmic textures, things like what Miyavi used. If you've ever studied classical, fingerstyle guitar, eventually you'll come up against the Miyavi solo. And that's what I'm going to show today as an example of rhythmic texture. So what he's using is the standard bass type slap. And I'm just holding all of my other strings dead right now except for my E string. So he slaps, just bounces his thumb off, and that's a perpendicular hit as opposed to what a bass player will do, which is hit parallel. I hit perpendicular on a guitar because you're deadening the rest of the strings. There's no way to get an accurate string hit that way on a guitar, unfortunately. Bass guitars just have the strings further apart. But he'll hit, double tap. So it's hit, middle, thumb, and then he's plucking up while holding down this third fret on the E string, and just let it go. So this sounds much more interesting, which is all that you'd be playing if you weren't actually adding in the rhythmic texture. So he'll do a few different things that actually make up a solo. In fact, in the solo before Selfish Love, so he's using various techniques. I'll show you the triplet slap that he's using. The first one is deaden all your strings. So that's all it is. Tap, tap, pull. We're on a dead string. The next one is 1, 2, and then I have a ring on my finger to create that second texture. He can do it. He does it on the body of his guitar. I can actually use the neck of my guitar to create that. So 1, 2, tap. Whichever way you want to go. And the final one, 1, 2, thumb, slap, thumb. So there you have it. Just a couple of rhythmic textures that you can also add into your playing. So given that you've got your melodic texture, your really fast picking, as well as being able to play a melody, I think that's the one point you missed, Claude. And see you around.